Jared Taylor, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and I know that you have thought about these things for many years, much longer than I have. I've become, again, not racist. I don't hate anybody, but I become racially conscious. I would say probably in the last year and a half or so.
Well, good,
It's a more
good.
modern development for me, and so I want to say thank you.
And I think that abortion, on balance, prevents unwanted children from coming into the world. And I think that's a good thing.
He hasn't become bitter or jaded or angry or hateful. He's really a cheerful old man.
Students should get sex education, free contraceptives, and free abortions.
And he said multiple times, this isn't about hate. This isn't about just indiscriminate kicking people out or anything like that. He's saying, I love my people. It's overflowed into, I want to care for these people that are quickly becoming a global minority. And I think everyone should aspire to that, that as much as you know about the things that are wrong in the world, also aspire to be a jolly warrior. And there's some senses in which Jared Taylor, long in the fight, decades in the fight, that he embodies that, a cheerful warrior who's trudged on and said, this is the one thing that I've made my mission.
Are you pro-choice?
Yes, I think if
Jared.
well, sorry to disappoint you. I see both sides of that picture. I know that some people think that abortion is murder, and I sympathize with that view. But I think, on balance, children should come into the world that are wanted by both parents, by two parents, in fact, not just one parent. And I think that abortion, on balance, prevents unwanted children from coming into the world. And I think that's a good thing.
What is America to do about the rising tide of horror? Visitors from Europe or Japan shake their heads in wonder at the squalor and barbarity of America's cities. They could be forgiven for thinking that the country had viciously and deliberately neglected its poor and its blacks. Of course, it has not. Everyone would benefit from combining welfare with Norplant. Welfare mothers would not be tied down by more small children and would be available for training or work. The children they already had would get more attention from their mothers, and society would be spared the prospect of yet more children who have little going for them. Welfare recipients, whose likelihood of marriage decreases with every new illegitimate child, would have a better chance of establishing a conventional two-parent home for their children. Unfortunately, such a program would not help the people who have the most to lose from a pregnancy. Girls who have not had children and who are not already on welfare. In our current moral climate, telling them not to have sex will not work. King Canute had about as much luck telling the tide not to come in. Students should get sex education, free contraceptives, and free abortions.
The way I put it is, you can't afford to be a crank on more than one question.
Yeah, that's true.
And my message has to do with race. And if someone is looking for reasons to disagree with me, and then he finds, oh, and this guy thinks this about women, or he thinks this about Jews, or he thinks this about abortion or euthanasia, or whatever some divisive question is, he thinks this about Christianity. I don't want to be easily dismissed, so I try to stick to my lane.
Students should get sex education, free contraceptives, and free abortions.